Okay, so just a quick introduction to Multisim so you know how to do the things for the lab. So this is Multisim. So essentially we're going to be placing components on this board right here. So to move around on the board, if I needed to zoom in or zoom out, that's just scrolling your mouse wheel in and out. If I need to pan, so I needed to move this sheet around, I can push down on the mouse wheel and then move my mouse, and that's going to pan around. We can zoom and we can pan. I'm going to make a quick example circuit so that y'all can see how we actually place components and connect everything up. So I'm just going to make a simple circuit real quick with a voltage supply and a resistor, and we're going to measure the current and then the voltage drop across that resistor. So let's start with the voltage supply. So we have a lot going on here, and Multisim can do a lot. We're not doing a lot in this lab. So if there's a lot of options, we're not even messing with any of them. So to place a voltage supply, we're going to go to this icon over here. It says place source. We'll go to place source. We're going to go to, so we have the families here. We're going to go to power sources. And then what we want is a DC power supply, so DC power. I'll say OK. And then I'm just going to click to place it on the sheet. We can move it around afterwards, so don't worry about that. And we're going to come back to this window, but we're done with this, so I'm just going to exit out. Now, by default, it says that it's 12 volts. Don't worry, we can change that. So if I double click on either the symbol or the V1 or the 12 volts, if I double click on that, it's going to pop up and allow me to change this voltage value. So we could change it to 24 volts and hit enter. And now we have a 24 volt DC supply. To add in the resistors, right, so we'll come over to right next to place source, we have place basic. So we'll go to place basic. And then the family that we want to select is resistor. And there are a ton of resistors to choose from. Below where it says component, you can just type in the value that you want. So if I wanted a 2.5 kilo ohm resistor, I could say 2.5K. It's going to pop up as a 2.5 kilo ohm resistor. You can also adjust the value of the resistors just like we changed the value of the voltage supply. You're not locked into this value for the resistor after it's placed. So I'll do a 2.5 kilo ohm resistor. I'll say OK, and I'll place it, and then I'll exit out. If I needed to add more, I could add more. If I need to adjust the orientation, so if I wanted to rotate this 90 degrees so it's vertical, I can right click and I can say rotate 90 degrees. And there, now we have it vertical. To connect up our components, I'm going to approach the voltage supply, and see as I approach that top kind of wire that's sticking out, my cursor changes. So when I see that, I'm going to go and just click, and then as I move away from the voltage supply, it's actually going to be creating a line, which would be the wire that's connecting up our components. So from the voltage supply to the resistor, I'll place a wire there, and you can click and drag and move these around after the fact. I'll do the same thing for the bottom, and now we have a power supply, a load, and a connected path. So this is a complete circuit. We do need to add a ground for Multisim, or it's going to complain to us. So we'll add a ground. Ground is in the place source, also in the power sources, and you'll see ground. So we'll say ground. I'll add in a ground down here, and I'll place, I'll connect it up. So I'll go from the ground to here. We're just going to go to the common side, so the more negative side of the circuit for our ground. Now we have a circuit, it's a complete circuit, but if I were to run the simulation right now, there's nothing, I wouldn't know any information. So we need to add in a multimeter so we can actually read voltage drops and current. So let's look at the voltage. So I'll add in a multimeter by going to up here on our tabs. We've got simulate and then instruments, and we want a multimeter. I'll place the multimeter somewhere over here. And here we have a two terminals, a plus and a minus. Just like on our digital multimeter, we have our red lead and our black lead for common. So we'll hook this up the exact same. So the positive, the red, is going to go towards the more positive side of the resistor. So it's going to go here. And then this will go towards the more negative side. So over here. So it's just like how we use the digital multimeter in the lab. Still, I don't really have any numbers being shown. So this is our digital multimeter, but to actually read a value from it, we're going to double click on it to pull up this window. And here we get to specify whether we are using it as an ammeter or a voltmeter to read current or voltage or resistance. So here we are reading voltage and it's DC. So once that's set up, I can run the simulation. So over here, you'll see this play button and then pause and then stop. So I'll hit the play button to run the simulation. And when we do that, we'll actually see the voltage drop across this resistor. So that's us reading voltage. If I want to make a change to this, I have to stop the simulation. So we'll stop the simulation. And let's see how we set this up if I want to read current. So remember, with current, we actually have to break the circuit. And I'll make the multimeter a part of the circuit. So current's going to flow through our ammeter and continue on through the resistor. I need to change the multimeter here to read amps. And I can run the simulation. And it's telling me that I've got 9.6 milliamps of current flowing through this circuit or through this resistor. Now, what's really nice about this, I mean, this is nice, but what's really cool is I'll stop the simulation and I can add in another multimeter. And I can set this up to read the voltage drop across this resistor. So this one's reading current, this one's reading the voltage drop, and I can run this simulation, and I can actually measure both things simultaneously. So that's a nice feature. And these are the things that you need to know for the lab.